Hey everybody, thanks so much for being with us on another Amped Unplugged interview. I'm excited to have Dr. John Thomas with us tonight. He's an awesome doc out of Michigan, actually specifically Livonia, Michigan. The name of his practice is Pure Chiropractic. Palmer grad. And Dr. John, thanks for being on your in practice, what, maybe 10, 11 months?
About 10 months, yeah.
Awesome. So I'm excited, man. I know you've been plugged into the AMP program since you jumped out of Palmer, and I knew you were plugged in a little bit there. But I guess tell me a little about your practice and what you're up to. I mean, 10 months in, that's for someone like me, is 15 years in, and that's a short amount of time. You're still pretty green behind the ears, but you're doing amazing things. I want to hear about it, and everybody else does too.
Absolutely, yeah. So we opened back in February. Um, we didn't really know that we needed to do something until we got to about 6 months from graduation, and I knew that I wanted to run my own practice. I had no idea what direction or what that was going to look like. Some good friends of mine from school that are AMP members as well kind of said, look, you need to start figuring out what you're going to do here, and kind of pushed me to get plugged into some things. After doing a little research and looking at different options, I've been with AMP since it started, even since I think it was last October. So we definitely have been all in with AMP ever since we started, and it's definitely our office. We see the growth, we see the little detail things that make a huge difference in a practice, and we wouldn't know them if it wasn't for this group.
Yeah, so I love the detailed stuff because I was just reading Dr. Michael Viscarelli got me a book, and it's actually called Get Shit Done. And I don't know if you saw that. I posted recently. He got it to me like a day or two ago, literally, and it showed up in the mail. And he was talking about it. So, but one of the quotes, I flipped the book and immediately came to the quote. I forget the quote. I just put it on Facebook, but it basically says, "Young entrepreneurs." It's like, hey, young entrepreneurs. Unproven ideas and people are okay, but stick to proven models and methods. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're a young entrepreneur and you're starting out, stick to what works. When you got some tread on your tires, I mean, you've gone some distance, yeah, experiment a little bit. But when you open a practice, man, it's definitely not a time to experiment, is it?
No, it's not. It was like I don't even know how someone could open without that kind of guidance. I don't know. I don't know how I could have possibly done it without the group.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit. I know I love the room because I know you're in one of the rooms with the baby room. So tell me about who's in the practice, how many team members. I know your wife's involved. You got a little one. And kind of just maybe take me from 0 months to 10 months, some of the highlights.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So when we opened the office in February, my daughter Leah was, oh geez, I should know better than that. She's probably like six or 7 months old. Couple months into practice, we find out we got another one on the way, and so in July here we had our son Elliot, and that's whose room I'm hanging out in tonight. But we're currently running with two part-time CAs. My wife is still in the office a little bit, but she's a full-time mommy, so she's basically working that end, making sure that everything's taken care of at home. So it's definitely a different dynamic with two, and definitely having one 3 months into opening practice definitely created some different scenarios for us to get a hang of. But again, I just referring back to the team modules and things like that was able to help us get people up and running in a very short amount of time, so we're very thankful for that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I know you're doing big things there. I know your practice is really growing. So give some of the docs. If a doc is ready to start open, or in 6 months, or even 2 3 years, what's some of the best practice share you've done? What are some of the things that have really been working for you? Let's start with marketing. What's really been working for you to bring the new practice members in the door, first of all?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, as far as marketing, we love doing dinners. They're fun. They're short compared to, a weekend where you're doing 20, 30 hours of screening. A dinner's a 2 or 3 hour process, and truthfully, that's about all I have to do with it, because between Trisha and the girls, everything's kind of handled before I get there. So I love the dinners for that reason. Networking meetings are good. Those haven't been quite as good for us as they have been for some other people, for a couple reasons kind of specific to our area. But we do those every now and then. We're getting plugged back into doing a lot of health talks and things like that. So we've got some goals set up for the end of this year and the beginning of next year to make sure that we're kind of expanding our territory a little bit in a kind of a natural, organic method here.
Yeah, I love that. And that's so true because each area is a little different, right? That's why, for one doc it's dinners, the next one it's network marketing. Some people it's screenings, health screenings. Some people it's plugging into, women's groups or church groups. and sharing the principle of chiropractic there. Some it's, like literally corporate talks, or, we do like a lunch and learn, or even business to business, right? I mean, I've heard some people that just have taken just networking and built a practice just off networking meetings,
Absolutely.
but the dinners, man, I love the dinner. I've been doing dinners for years. And, there's a science and an art. Somebody says, oh, yeah, no big deal. I'll do a dinner, right? But I've seen a lot of people try dinners, and actually because they call us because they know that we have so many docs doing phenomenal things at dinners where we're having 30, 40, 50 people make appointments in dinners, with a high follow-through rate. As you know, I mean, it's been cream of the crop for your practice, I know, because you've told me before. But it seems so easy to do a dinner. But I mean, I don't know, maybe you don't have to give the whole bad bag away, but maybe top 2, 3 things to do when you're doing a dinner.
Well, obviously, marketing to the people within the practice is huge. Dr. Zeus has plugged me into some of the ideas he uses in his office because obviously he's doing unbelievable things when it comes to his dinners. Just kind of, pushing the practice members want to make the right decision, but pushing them in the right direction in a non-pushy way so that they make the right decision. But it's to them, it's their choice when really, we're kind of in control of that conversation. So that's a big one. And then obviously, anytime we're networking with anyone outside of the practice, when in doubt and they won't, make an appointment to come into the office, then hey, we got this dinner coming up. We always know when the next one's scheduled. Get them signed up for that. Get them to the dinner. Let them hear for at least another half hour what we're about, and that usually is what pushes them to make that, because it's clear cut. It's natural health, and that's what people actually want.
Yeah, that's so good. So, I mean, you're always so helpful to talk to other docs. And a matter of fact, there was another doc up there from Michigan. He was, just trying to find his way, and, through all the smoke and mirrors in chiropractic, because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. One thing I love about AMPED is that, our ideal client is someone that's graduating like yourself out of chiropractic college, really wants to kick butt, really wants to open their practice. And, there's nothing wrong with being an associate or buying a franchise, doing all that stuff. If that's your sole purpose, absolutely. But if you want to open your own practice, that's your sole purpose. That's really your avatar. And, doing it in a big way, profitable, and doing just chiropractic. Because, so many things out there are smoke and mirrors where it seems to be chiropractic, but it's really weight loss, it's really detox, it's really, all kinds of supplements or MLMs, all kinds of craziness. So, what would you tell, if a graduate, like let's say someone's in 9th or 10th tri Palmer right now, or in life, or some of the quarter schools, they're on 13, 14 quarter, ready to get the heck out of there. Man, what would you tell them? I mean, I know you're going to tell them, hook up with AMPED, but just in a general sense, man, what would you tell them to try to focus in on and.
Yeah, I mean, for myself, our rationale was we wanted to be the best chiropractor, in our area. And if you want to be the best, then hang out with the best. And for us, when you look at the docs that are mentoring the AMP program, they're some of the best in the business. It's cut and dry. It's duplicatable over and over again, reproducible results over and over again throughout the country. So it's really, really easy for us. The one thing that I always keep in mind, that it's a quote that always sticks with me when it comes to AMPED, is if you think you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And so no matter if we're at a conference, we're on a phone call, whatever it is, I always know that I'm always getting something, because I'm always putting myself around people that have done it before me or have done it better than me, so that I'm always learning something. And that's something about the AMP program that you just don't get in some of the other programs. You're not getting pushed the way you are in AMPED, and it's a perfect fit for us.
Yeah, one of the things I love is that, with AMPED is that, everybody that's teaching is actually in the trenches. Not too far from you. How far is Dr. Eric Qualky from you?
2 hours or less.
Yeah, so here's Qualky. Guy's nuts, 4 kids, right? He's got doubling up on you. I think he's probably going to have 6 or 7. I'm trying to slow the guy down. I'm worried about him, right? But seriously,
trying to start a band, I heard.
What's that?
Trying to start a band, I heard.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, too funny. He needs someone to empty the trash cans and clean the floors of his office, is the truth. But here's 1,000 visits a week, man. 40% pediatrics, 1,000 visits a week. Just so all these docs, a ton of them in Michigan that we have in AMP, but they're everybody's teaching. It's not like, oh, well, the way I used to do it. Well, the way that worked for me 10 years ago. Well, this is how it worked. 12. No, man, it's relevant. It's fresh. It's happening in today's healthcare culture. And it's it's what's working now, because some things that worked 2 years ago don't even work now, things change quickly, as you know. So, and that's why we're always evolving and changing, and that's what I love about AMP too. So, I love that you're part of it. Okay, so someone that's a year out, a year and a half out, 10 months out like yourself, man, they're struggling. They're because I know you're seeing a few hundred visits a week. but let's say they're kind of stuck at 40, 50, 60 visits a week. They love chiropractic, because that's our avatar. Our avatar and I AMPED is people who love chiropractic, who understand the principle, but they just can't put the pieces together. I know, AMPED is a great fit for them, but what would you just tell them, maybe some encouragement, but also maybe 2 or 3 building blocks to just tell them what direction they should move in?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, the thing that always resonates with me is the principle of chiropractic stands alone. So it doesn't need to be, bumped up with any of the therapies and the different things that offices are trained to do now to try and generate revenue. If you're a good adjuster and you give people quality care, the money will come to you. The back end of it will always show up to you. Building blocks, join AMPED. If you're confused about what direction to go, if you don't know those steps to take to get yourself that model practice that you're looking for, there's several versions of it within this program. Get plugged into the program. Start doing little things. Join a networking group. Go to schedule some health talks. There's really simple, easy things that can be done that can start building that momentum for you. And once that kind of gets rolling, it's like the stone rolling down the hill. Once you get to the top of the hill, it kind of just will take over for itself, and then it becomes a little bit easier on you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So building blocks are the key, and I know that, because your practice, you're technically 3 times the average chiropractic practice. If you look at raw numbers of average chiropractors, you're 3 times that in 10 months. So I'm so proud of you, man. I know I'm not going to show your collections on YouTube here, but I know you're collecting a good amount of money, and you're happy about it. I know every time I see your wife, she smiles at me. Right?
Yeah, she appreciates AMPED a lot.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, I do too. And the funny thing is that, we're one of the mentors, but we learn stuff, man. We're always taking notes, and I love that when you're the smartest person in the room, you got a problem, right? And exactly. And the cool thing is that AMPED isn't wrapped around one person. It's like a community, exactly. A mastermind, as we always say it. The mastermind effect. It's always worked and always will, and that's what we love about chiropractic. So.
And that's really the best part about the AMPED program for me is that, a lot of times you go out and you meet chiropractors and it's, guy A competing with guy B. When you talk about the AMPED community, even though there is several people that are in AMPED within a short time period from us here, all those people are all pulling for each other. It's not an individual thing. Everyone's working for the same cause. I mean, there's unity in the group, and you just don't find that in chiropractic much, and you don't find that in a lot of professions that much, but especially in chiropractic, there's definitely this idea that everyone's working against each other, but within this group, that's just not the case. Everyone's pulling for everybody else, and we're all working towards the same goal.
Yeah, and you see that in accountability groups, the Facebook secret groups that we have, and just, because honestly, at the end of the day, your practice, my practice, all the practices, there's a couple hundred practices involved in AMPED now. At the end of the day, it's about causing critical mass in chiropractic, because that's going to benefit us all. If we can honestly cause critical mass where, more individuals, more families, more communities are healthier through chiropractic, taking less medications, less pharmaceuticals, and turning towards audio. Like you said, I love that. Audio is enough, and that's one thing we preach at AMPED. So, man, I'm going to give you a final word, bud, and we're going to close this up. Great interview.
Yeah, I mean, just, anyone that's watching this, if you're not involved, get involved. The program speaks for itself. Just look around the country. The docs doing the AMPED procedures are doing unbelievable things, and they're continuing to do unbelievable things. And, as a group, this group is setting the pace for the rest of chiropractic. And if you want to be part of that, then this is where you belong, and this is what you should be plugged into.
Man, I appreciate it, John. Even a Palmer grad can do it, right?
Exactly. Yes, you can.
Palmer grads, right? So, hey, well, I love it, and thanks for being on tonight. Again, Dr. John Thomas doing big things. 10 months in, man. I love that. Because we always hear about the starvation period. No starvation period for you. Pure Chiropractic, Livonia, Michigan. Thank you for you and Trish always helping others out. And I know that God's expanding your territory because you're always so willing to help others and lend a helping hand. All right, everybody, have a great evening, and thanks so much for being on the Unplugged interview with us.